Sato has built her life on care, order, and quiet responsibility. Her marriage is stable, conflict-free, and emotionally restrained, marked not by pain, but by absence. Long hours, practical conversations, and unspoken fatigue slowly replace connection. One evening, that fragile balance shifts. After a demanding day, her husband is brought home by his assistant, visibly worn down by the pressures he carries.
部長、着替えられます？落ち着きましたよ。着替えた方がいいんじゃないですか？
ちょっとお茶どうぞ。
すいません、ごめんね。本当にいつも寡黙で厳しい部長なんで、ちょっとびっくりです。おまけにこんな綺麗な奥さんがいるなんて。
綺麗だなんてやめてくださいよ。でもお世辞でも嬉しいです。時間も遅いので。
いや、さすがにそれは悪いんで、まだ終電もありますし。もうこんな時間？
もう電車だって走ってないんだし、夫のでよければパジャマもあるんで。
すいません、お言葉に甘えさせていただきます。
いや、全然気にしないでください。
The assistant does not rush away. He stays briefly, not intrusively, but attentively offering help, making sure Sato is not alone in managing the moment. On the surface, it is an ordinary act of responsibility. Yet emotionally, it introduces something unfamiliar into Sato's carefully regulated world.
ほんとにちょっと起きてってば。ここで寝ないでって前も言ったじゃん。起きてよ、ちょっと。
お風呂いただきました。
湯加減どうでした？
すっごく気持ちよかったです。パジャマもぴったりだし。
それならよかった。そうだ、お酒あるけどどうします？
いいんですか？じゃあ、いただいちゃいます。
洗い物終わったら持っていくんで、座って待っててください。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
In the days that follow, the assistant appears again, each time with small, thoughtful gestures. Nothing dramatic, nothing inappropriate, just polite concern expressed consistently. For someone comfortable with emotional restraint, these moments feel unexpectedly loud. Sato does not experience them as comfort. She experiences them as disruption. Her response is not curiosity, but distance. Not because she distrusts the other person, but because closeness itself feels unsafe. Psychologically, this is a common response in people who have learned to survive through self-containment. When emotional boundaries have been tight for a long time, even kindness can feel like pressure. Even attention can trigger anxiety. Sato begins to notice her own reactions, her hesitation, the tension in her body during simple conversations, the urge to retreat into politeness rather than presence. She cannot easily explain why these interactions unsettle her, only that they do. And that confusion becomes its own quiet burden. As the days pass, Sato feels a quiet tension she can't fully explain. Her life remains orderly and calm, yet something inside her grows unsettled. Brief, respectful interactions awaken a vigilance she has long relied on emotional restraint as self-protection. Psychologically, she is caught between two patterns, being the reliable self-sufficient partner, and a hidden need to be seen in vulnerability. She tells herself her discomfort is unnecessary, but unexamined feelings only deepen. Her marriage continues peacefully, yet without emotional exchange. Stability replaces connection, and over time, she stops expecting to be emotionally met. When gentle attentiveness enters her world, it doesn't create desire, it reveals a lack. Not a lack in her marriage, but within herself. Permission to receive support without earning it. The turning point arrives quietly when she pauses instead of retreating. In that moment, Sato realizes her fear isn't danger, it's unfamiliar safety. By meeting her unease with curiosity, she learns that emotional growth doesn't require disruption, only presence. Emotional safety begins when we allow ourselves to feel, rather than withdraw.